to the east of Birmingham, getting closer to Talladega. We're watching that. There is a tornado warning right now west of Montgomery, where you see that red polygon here. All right, and let me widen out a little bit more and put this into motion here. And you can see really the strongest of these storms have been trending to be Montgomery and southward, where we have more of those tornado warnings, and around Mobile. Over closer to Pensacola, it's been very active here along Mobile Bay with numerous tornado warnings there. But again, most of that is staying down over to the south side. And I'm seeing folks here who may be watching as well on our app. And I'm going to be doing a couple of things here. I'll address you here on camera as well as on my phone right here as I'm doing this all at the same time as I'm doing a Facebook Live, just letting everybody know what is going to be happening here in our area as these storms are going to be moving through. The strongest of those storms are down in South Alabama along the Florida Panhandle and south of Montgomery. North of Montgomery into Birmingham, throughout parts of Alabama there. Still some strong storms, but they are showing signs of weakening as this entire system continues to get closer to Georgia. And that's what we expect to happen here. But we do have that tornado watch in effect. And for those of you who are just joining us on the app and online and on OTT right now, here is that watch. The tornado watch does not include the Atlanta area, but it does include many spots here near the Georgia-Alabama line, including in Alabama, Cleburne and Randolph counties, and then in Rome and Floyd County, also down into areas of Haralson County, Polk County, Carroll, Heard County, Coweta County, Troup County, and Meriwether County. Those are the areas that are in this tornado watch until 8 o'clock in the morning. I was telling folks on Facebook Live just a moment ago, we don't really expect to see that watch, see us really need that watch until 8 a.m. I think it's going to expire early. But again, that's what we're watching there. Also, for those of you who just joined us as well, the thunderstorm watch is in effect for far northwest Georgia, including Dade County, Walker County, Catoosa County, Chattooga, Whitfield, Murray, Fannin, and Gilmer counties. All right. So let's go back to that radar image, and you can see those storms that we're watching moving in from Alabama. Again, if you're watching us on the app, on OTT, my phone is here because I'm doing a Facebook Live at the same time. We've got about 500 viewers there. Hopefully a lot of you are watching on the app as well. We do have a report of, just because of the winds blowing, a tree reported down on a power line south of Georgia 20 on South Avery Road. That is in Coosa in Floyd County, where that damage is coming in. So, you know, just some sporadic trees down, not because of these thunderstorms. This is the pressure gradient wind ahead of these storms that is causing a lot of trees to come down even before the storms get here, with the very strong winds that are moving through. So here's radar. You can see, again, we'll watch this severe thunderstorm warning south of Birmingham. It's possible some of those severe thunderstorm warnings could extend over into West Georgia. And again, we will be watching with this the low risk that we could have some rotation along with that as the system continues to move into our area. Here's the timeline of what we're watching. Right now we're at 1 o'clock in the morning. From midnight till 4 o'clock in the morning, that's when those storms will be moving through, getting closer to the metro area. We're thinking 3 to 7 is when it'll be taking that track through the metro area here. And then after 5, 6 in the morning, everything moves over to the east. 5 to 9, that's going to be well to the east of us, with weather getting better as we continue through the rest of the daytime hours here. Now, we do have that wind advisory also in effect until 8 o'clock in the morning. With the winds that have been whipping up still ahead of those storms. It hasn't really been that crazy, but we've had some winds of, you know, around 45 miles an hour, those wind gusts, and that's all because of the pressure gradient winds as we continue to see the difference between the high and low pressure, the front coming in, the storms rolling in. That's where we have those winds that are whipping up. Sustained winds 15 to 25, gusting up to 45. So here's a look at the forecast track of what we're watching with those storms moving in to North and West Georgia within the next little while, approaching Atlanta once we get to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, we expect them to weaken a little bit more, not as strong in our area as they have been out over in parts of western Alabama, southern Alabama, and also into Mississippi. Continuing to push on through. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning. Just know your drive into work is going to be soggy early in the morning. And then continuing to move on over to the east through Athens, Thomaston, Eatonton area. We're thinking, you can see the timeline there, about 8 o'clock in the morning, and then exiting in much better weather during the day here tomorrow as things will be improving here. We just have to get through these storms as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And again, I'm liking what I see out to our west with that risk with the storms that seem to be dying down somewhat. Let me show you the significant tornado parameter. When you look at this is one of the models that really highlights the areas that are going to be, more likely for rotation and tornadoes. And where you see the reds here along the Panhandle, South Alabama, the Panhandle of Florida, that's where the rotation is going to be a little more likely. And then you can see how it's not as likely, it gets lower coming into West Georgia. But what I want you to notice here is that as this moves in, here you can see some of these, some of that white color there. Again, that's indicating low. All right, as you can see on the legend there, low risk for tornadoes, but it's not a zero risk for tornadoes. All right, so that's going to continue moving on through our area overnight, and by tomorrow morning, that's pretty much going to be over. So it's just a low risk for rotation to be here with us overnight. That's why I'm hanging out with you guys tonight. That's why I'm doing this Facebook Live, just to let you know what is happening. So far, no warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings through. But again, we're watching this tonight, expecting it to weaken, but still some of these storms could be strong enough that we could have some isolated areas of rotation with that. So here is a look there at what we're watching with that. We talked about the winds as well already, and let me show you what we've got going on. I've got so many things in my show here. These are the main threats we're watching. Heavy rain is the main threat that we're going to be watching as the storms roll through tonight, as well as the wind whipping up again. Oh, there we go. It's taken a second to come up here. Not only the wind with the storms, but the wind ahead of the storms as the system rolls on through. Hold on just a second. Okay. And then again, the tornado risk is on the low end, and the hail risk is low. We're really not seeing much, very low. We're really not seeing much in the form of hail with these storms rolling through. So here's a look at the current winds, all right? These are the sustained winds that we have right now. And again, the storms aren't even here yet. And we're talking about winds 14 miles an hour here in Atlanta, 21-mile-an-hour winds in Rome. But now let's factor in the wind gusts that we're dealing with. And right now, we're seeing some wind gusts around Atlanta around 40 miles an hour. Rome has wind gusts around 36 miles an hour. We have 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts up around Blairsville, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts down in Peachtree City. So really gusty winds even before the storms get here. And those winds will remain gusty through the overnight hours tonight. And let me show you the forecast track with that. As those storms roll through tonight, winds still really whipping up. All right. There you see the line of storms rolling through. This is at 9:30 in the morning, if y'all can see that timeline right here, as those strongest winds will be over to the east of us. It's still going to be breezy here, but not as strong as it is as we get through the, not as strong as it is out there now. It'll be calmer tomorrow morning with just some breezy conditions. So a lot of things going on right now as we're watching the rain move in. The wind is with us as well. And again, we have that potential that some of these storms could turn severe as the system gets closer to us here. Ooh, there's another tornado warning there south of Birmingham. So this is really interesting. We were seeing the tornado warnings kind of disappear a little bit, but this one has just popped up there in the Birmingham area, just south of Birmingham. This is, let me get over here, near Chelsea, Alabama, moving toward Vincent. That would be closer to Pell City and Talladega a little bit later on if it holds together. But I'm showing you this. I know that's not in our viewing area, but I'm showing you this just to let you know these storms over in Alabama, even though they were trying to calm down a little bit, it's still showing some signs of rotation there, and so that's why they've just issued a new tornado warning there south and east of Birmingham. We're going to be watching, of course, our friends over in Cleveland County and Randolph County as the storms move in to see if any of those could have any rotation with them. If so, we'll break into programming for that. Also keeping an eye in West Georgia where we have that tornado watch that's in effect. So that's where we have to watch that potential for storms that could have some rotation with them, and also, of course, those strong winds through the area as well. Speaking of winds, I'm going to see if I can show you all this behind me. Yeah, you can see that pretty well. This is in Rome right now, where you see the winds blowing. Not only the flag is blowing, but the entire flag pole has been moving back and forth too with the gusty winds. The roads are wet in Rome now, as we've had some light rain move through, but not really anything strong as far as heavy rain moving through that area. But we do expect that heavy rain to be coming in really just within the next couple of hours, or really hour or so here in West Georgia. So there's that line of strong storms, severe thunderstorms, and again, near Birmingham and east of Birmingham, a new tornado warning there. We'll keep an eye on that. I really think that that would fall apart, but as this line moves through, there is that potential of some rotation there coming in overnight tonight. But we're crossing our fingers that that threat and that risk is going to come down a little bit as these storms push into Georgia, moving into some slightly more stable air. All right, for those of you watching on OTT right now, I'm going to get some questions from folks here on Facebook Live. Carol Spencer says, South Georgia, anything coming? Yeah, South Georgia is going to have some storms coming in too. So I'm not sure what part of South Georgia you're talking to. Those storms could be stronger there, as the storms in south of Montgomery and down along the Gulf Coast region have been really strong. Some of those will move into South Georgia. So if you live there, check in with your local meteorologist and your local National Weather Service office there for more information coming through there. I want to stick with what's happening here in our area tonight for our viewers here. Gosh, a lot of people replying to each other. Jane says, thanks from Rome. Let's see here. Diane says, Blue Ridge here, power flickering off and on, high winds, starting to rain a little bit. Please, everyone, be safe. Thank you for that from Blue Ridge. Linda says the wind is blowing hard. Rich says, Chris, the same looking storm system keeps coming through. It seems like every 2 weeks. Is this the same system that keeps, it's not letting me read the rest, circling around the planet? No. No, these are all different storms, even though the ones that we've had lately have been similar with the timing, as well as the weakening process as it's been coming in from Alabama, but they're not the same storms going around the globe. Robin says, Athens, Elberton area, what do you think it'll get bad? That'll be early tomorrow morning when we have a better chance for storms, but I don't think it would be too bad there. Expect some rain, wind. You know, I don't think we'd be dealing much with any rotation once it gets there. Jason says, will they extend the watch more east? They could. They're not giving us any indication right now, though, that they are going to do that. But they could do that tonight, where they could extend it to the east. But right now, we don't think that's necessary. But if they do, of course, we'll let you know. Laura says, has the air become more unstable, causing the warning? So we don't have any warnings now. These are watches. It's a tornado watch that's in effect for Coweta County, not a tornado warning. The air has not become more unstable. It is actually a little more stable here, but we're just watching the decrease in intensity of these storms, that yes, they are weakening, but they may still hold together into West Georgia, that we could still have some rotation with it. That's why that tornado watch is in effect. Tiffany says, how's Jasper, Georgia looking? You're going to have some rain coming through there, wind and storms. Linda is in Rome. Carol's in Brunswick. Eddie says, thanks. Nervous in Coweta from Emma. Tiffany says, I'm so glad, she says she's glad she doesn't live in Alabama. Chelsea says, what about Lula? Again, that's over in the Banks County area where things are going to be rainy, windy tonight, thunder and lightning possible, some strong winds, but we really think the tornado risk won't really be impacting you there. A lot of nervous people in Noonan on here. Jane says the wind has been fierce in Rome. Okay, everybody asking about their own specific city. I've kind of done a whole overview of what to expect in different areas. And, you know, Cynthia says the yellow box is a tornado watch. The yellow box is a severe thunderstorm watch. The red box here is the tornado watch. Yellow box is in effect, the severe thunderstorm watch, the yellow one is in effect until 5 a.m. The tornado watch is in effect until 8 a.m., but I really think they're going to expire that or cancel it early before those storms roll in. Allison says, could you please go over the tornado risk level for the ones in the watch? So it's a low risk for everybody in the watch. It's a low risk. I don't know if that's what you're asking. David says, are you going to be staying all night for updates? So I'm going to be here, you know, while things could be active. You know, if anything's active, I'm going to be here. Chesley's going to be here in a bit, 1:30 to 2 o'clock or whatever. We'll decide if I need to stay with him for a little bit or if it's good for me to go on home. But I'm going to stay here as long as I need to. But I'm not going to leave the Weather Center empty. Someone will always be here. Okay, a lot of individual. Meredith says worried in Buford. I don't think there's a real need to be worried there. I mean, there will be some wind and rain, thunder and lightning for you, but the tornado risk is on the low end. But really, any of these winds tonight can cause damage, can cause trees to come down, can cause some power outages too. All right, everybody's a lot of specifics. So I've been going through, that's what I've been talking about for the whole time, is the whole line moving through, and then people say, what about my city, what about my county? But I've already kind of talked about all that. Alan says, which way is it going? That's coming out of Birmingham. It's going this way. That storm in Birmingham, the whole line is moving over to the east. The individual cells are moving up toward the north and east. So that one that's causing the rotation south of Birmingham is moving north and east. But again, we could see other spots of rotation developing there. So just something to keep an eye on as the storms roll through. Elizabeth says, are we talking about big violent tornadoes? No, I don't think so. Again, I don't think there'll be a lot, if any, tornadoes here. I think they would be brief tornadoes as it's moving into a more stable environment. So we're not talking about big violent long track tornadoes here. Rachel says the wind in Rome is picking up. Jordan's asking, any tornado threat for Cobb County? Really low. West Georgia, in the metro Atlanta, the tornado risk is low, but it's not zero, all right? It's just really low. Jen says, hey, from Talking Rock. Lori says, it's been windy all night here in Barrow County, but it's calm now, the calm before the storm. Well, I mean, you'll still see some more winds whipping up there. I'm surprised that you've got a little bit of a calm there because the winds are still going to be whipping up before the storms get in too. Eddie says nothing but a breeze in Villa Rica, but you'll have some stuff coming into Villa Rica in a bit, within an hour or so. Some stronger storms coming through. All right. Thanks from Pamela. A lot of people asking for their individual counties here. Robin says, thanks for always updating us. You're awesome. Say hey to my daughter, Kayla. Hey there, Kayla. Michael says, thanks for doing the live update. Typical March and April weather here. Claudia says, what about Bowden? Again, Bowden, West Georgia. You're going to get some rain and storms coming in. Carroll County is in the tornado watch until 8 o'clock in the morning, even though I think that they would cancel it well before 8 o'clock. Kathia says, glad I found you on Facebook. Edwina says, sorry I'm late. The wind is strong in Noonan. Hope we're going to be okay before I go to work, she says. David's asking if I'm going to be here all night. So I'm going to be here as long as I need to be. Once Chesley gets here, we'll assess everything, whether I can leave, and he and Melissa are going to be here early in the morning. And if things are okay, I may leave it to them, or I might stay and help them out a little bit. So that's what we'll be watching. Brandy says, sleepless in the Grantville area. Some schools are closing. Wait, I don't know anything about school closing. I don't talk about school closings here. Okay, so let me just kind of do a rundown again of what's happening here, and then I will bail out. We'll come back on a little bit later. I just wanted to give you guys an update. We'll go back on if we need to with live coverage too. But let me give you, those of you who have just joined in, another rundown of what we have going on. You can see those storms in Alabama where the line is moving through, where we have strong storms coming in, some of these severe damaging wind, also some very heavy rain. But we do have some rotation with this one to the east of Birmingham. There's a tornado warning right over here. Let me put this into live mode. Right there, nearing Talladega, north of Sylacauga. There is another tornado warning coming near Montgomery, going through Montgomery over toward Wetumpka. So we need to watch those areas of rotation coming out of Alabama to see if they're going to hold together, potentially into Cleburne County or Randolph County or into West Georgia. It is in West Georgia where we have a tornado watch that's in effect. It does not include the Atlanta area, but it does include Floyd County, also into parts of Polk County, Haralson County, Carroll County, there also Coweta County, Heard County, Troup County, and Meriwether County, and then those counties on down closer to Columbus. That's in effect until 8. Again, I don't think it's going to be in effect until 8. I think they would cancel it early. There is also a thunderstorm watch in effect for northwest Georgia. Strong thunderstorms possible there for Dade, Walker, Chattooga, Catoosa, Murray, Whitfield, also Fannin and Gilmer counties. Now, again, we've been watching this line of storms as it's been developing. We're seeing some signs of weakening as it gets closer to us. Here's the timeline of what we're watching. Even though we're saying these storms are weakening, we're meaning it's not as strong once it gets here as they've had in Mississippi and western Alabama, but some of those could still be strong enough to give us some damaging wind, heavy rain, and even that low risk for some rotation. All right, so here's a look at the timeline. Moving through northwest Georgia as it is approaching. Again, we're talking about the stronger part, not just the rain, but the stronger part, you know, between now 2, 3 in the morning, approaching, coming into metro Atlanta, 4 in the morning, and then moving east of the city, 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, and then continuing on over to the east with better weather throughout the day here tomorrow too. So that is in a nutshell what we're watching with these storms moving in. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Heather just said, just woke up to check on the storm. You made me feel better. Stay weather alert. Coming is surrounded by a mountain. Thank goodness we rarely have tornadoes. Mountains don't stop tornadoes. All right, what else you guys saying here? All right, so let me run. Maria says very high fierce winds in Griffin, Georgia. Everybody stay safe. All right, so for those of you on OTT and here on Facebook Live, I'm going to go ahead and bail out. For those of you in the digital team, I hope y'all can, actually in the control room, let's just go to black when I'm done here, and I'll make sure that we're cleared from the stream. But for Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and sign off from you guys as well. I just wanted to give you this update. We will be coming back on if we need to with any severe weather that's going to be rolling on through. And I just feel like before it gets here, I need to take a little break, get some water, and rest my voice just in case I'll be on, you know, for a while as the storms roll on through. So there's the update. More info to come as needed, and we'll break into programming on 11 Alive if necessary, if any tornado warnings are issued. All right, so we'll have more updates for you throughout the day.